I don't want anybody to walk away without a job. There's a lot of jobs out there. We really need nurses. We need welders. We need truck drivers. Those are jobs that we're really pushing hard to get filled.
Welcome to episode 88 of the LorainCounty.com Insights Podcast. I'm your host, Ed Skimmon. I want to begin today's episode by thanking the LorainCounty.com champion sponsors who support this and so much more in our community. WOBL Radio, Community Foundation of Lorain County, Lorain County Community College, Lorain County Commissioners, Lorain County JVS, and Emerge Inc. Today, we are talking with Dave Blevins, Director of the Lorain County Workforce Development Agency. Join us as Dave talks about how the agency supports youth, adults, dislocated workers, and veterans, while partnering with local employers to forecast workforce needs. He shares insights into Ohio Means Jobs and the Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act. He discusses the challenges of reaching younger audiences and outlines his vision for the future of workforce development in Lorain County. I earned my master's degree in urban studies from Cleveland State University, focusing on economic development. My graduate thesis explored how workforce development directly fuels economic growth. In the late 1990s, while working at the Lorain County Chamber of Commerce, I helped in the creation of the Workforce Institute of Lorain County, a partnership designed to facilitate a coordinated countywide strategy for workforce development. I've long believed that education and workforce development are powerful tools for improving opportunity, not only for individual learners, but for entire communities. Lorain County is fortunate to have a strong and collaborative education and workforce ecosystem. A significant portion of our local property taxes, along with millions of dollars in state and federal workforce funds, are invested in helping residents gain skills and meaningful careers. When these investments are coordinated effectively through organizations like the Lorain County Workforce Development Agency, the entire community benefits. Here is my conversation with Dave Blevins.
My name is Dave Blevins. I'm the director of the Lorain County Workforce Development Agency, also known as Ohio Means Jobs.
Welcome, Dave. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights. Could you provide an overview of Lorain County Workforce Development Agency and describe your role with the organization?
My role is almost like herding cats. So we have people coming in from all types of ages. We work with people in the youth program, the adult program, dislocated employees. We work with veterans. There's a large amount of the population that needs to be served, whether it's being uptrained, new job qualifications, you need a certificate, we can help you out. At the end of the day, we're just trying to engage employers and employees and put them on the same page.
As I understand it, the Workforce Development Agency serves a number of different constituents. Let's start with employers. How does the agency support local employers? What are some of the key ways you work with employers to meet their workforce needs?
Right now, I'm building relationships. So the relationships have been built over the years. Technology changes. I'm out there talking to LCC. I'm working with JVS. I'm working with all the businesses and asking them, can you forecast what the future is? And I'm not asking them for a crystal ball, but they know what certificates and what kind of skills that the workforce needs. And that's what we want to do. If somebody is in school and not necessarily going to go off to college, we want to start them earlier in the high school career, getting certificates and gaining a little experience into whatever they want to go into. So a big part of it is exposing individuals to different types of jobs, especially the youth program.
Let's talk more about the youth program. How is the agency helping Lorain County's youth prepare for the workforce? And why is engaging the next generation of workers so important?
Hugely important to the county. It's important to the state as well and the country. WIOA is really what drives this agency. So it's a Work Innovation and Opportunity Act. And I'll give you a little rundown of that. WIOA is the nation's main workforce development law. It was passed in 2014 to modernize how we connect people to good jobs and help employers find the skilled workers they need. The heart of WIOA is a partnership. It brings together workforce boards, job centers, schools, and employers to make sure training and employment programs actually match what local industries are looking for. It focuses on a few key goals: helping job seekers, especially youth, dislocated workers, and adults with barriers to employment, get the skills and credentials they need for in-demand jobs; supporting the employers by building a pipeline of skilled, work-ready talent, and improving coordination between education, training, and economic development efforts so everyone's working towards the same regional priorities; and emphasizing measurable results like employment rates, earnings, and credential attainment to ensure accountability and the impact. In short, WIOA helps communities grow stronger by aligning education and workforce systems around real job opportunities, not just programs. It's about giving people the tools to succeed and giving businesses the workforce they need. And it's been very troubling that the youth side has been very difficult. And the problem comes down to communication. A lot of young people don't answer their phone. So they answer a text. We're using a system right now that after 3 texts, it blocks you out. So I'm going to start a new program. I'm going to buy into some Engage by Cell, which is being used at other workforce development boards in the state, 44 of the 88, as a matter of fact. Basically, we can now use that as a medium to contact them. We can send out mass emails with a flyer that says there's a job fair or manufacturing showcase. It's just about communication. We're dealing with a population that isn't always out there, right? They're not coming to these shows. They're not coming to our different events that we have. We need to seek them out. They could be referred to us, but sometimes they drop off. They may have graduated and are essentially homeless. They're sleeping on their buddy's couch. They're not getting an email. So a lot of that has to be dealt with. We're dealing with a population that really needs help, right? They've never experienced somebody working in the home. That's a reality. And I need to give them a good idea of what a job and a career looks like. So it's not easy, but at the same time, it's very rewarding.
That's almost by definition a tough audience to reach.
Yes. And it's not unique to Lorain County.
Right.
I just finished a regional plan with everybody in Northeast Ohio, and everybody has the same problem with the youth. So I'm really hoping that we can figure out a better way to communicate with them. Everybody can benefit from this program.
Can you talk about the difference between the Lorain County Workforce Development Agency and Ohio Means Jobs Lorain County?
Basically, Ohio Means Jobs is a part of Workforce Development Agency. So we are there as a one-stop center to help you with your career. Whether it's helping you build a resume, whether it's helping you to interview, we'll have mock interviews, or getting a certificate or an in-demand job. There's a lot of jobs out there that we really need nurses. We need welders. We need truck drivers. Those are jobs that we're really pushing hard to get filled. And I'm really glad to say that we are filling all kinds of nursing positions. So through our partnership with Lorain County Community College, JVS, EHOVI as well, First Step in Lorain, we're working to put nurses to work, and we're willing to pay out. That's the big benefit. If you qualify, you're going to get tuition paid. Truckers, I think we paid out for close to 75 CDLs last year. It's my wish that they are working in a Lorain County company, but if they're working somewhere else, that's fine. But I'm building relationships with trucking companies that are in North Ridgeville and numerous other agencies and whoever needs a truck driver. We want these guys to have a job, and part of the commitment with my partners is that there is a commitment to hire. So they have already worked it where, all right, if you get your CDL, we've got a job lined up for you. Or if you get your nursing certificate, we have a job lined up for you. I don't want anybody to walk away without a job. That's what we need.
From your perspective, what's the biggest challenges in meeting today's workforce needs in Lorain County?
I guess it's technology. We really don't know what's coming down the pike. We talk about a mega site here in Lorain County, which is really exciting. But at the same time, I don't really know what that would be. I guess there's time. We've got time because there's infrastructure that needs to go in. But who knows who the suitor will be? Who knows who this giant company might show up? I'd like to know in advance so that we could start training and educating our population. I want everybody to go to college, but if they don't want to, I want them to be able to have a career. I want them to be able to gain the certificate through us or through one of our partners and then move on and have a happy life.
What do you see as the biggest workforce opportunity in Lorain County?
The opportunity is our growth. Right now, Lorain County is growing by leaps and bounds. And we've got some elected officials that are forward thinking. They're thinking about infrastructure. They're thinking about the future. There's a lot of things that could define Lorain County and the region for the next 50 to 100 years. And I think they're putting a lot of thought into that. We went through a strategic plan at the county level, and it told us what we need to do. Right now, we have always been on the outside of Cleveland, and we still are, but I think that we may be an economic driving force in the future. I think there's a lot to offer in North Central Ohio, and I think Lorain County will be the center of it.
How do you measure success in your programs and services? What metrics and outcomes does Workforce Development Agency track to gauge its impact?
So basically, it's all data. So everything that we do gets put into a system managed by the state. So everything goes into Aries. Aries goes to the state, and they send us out monthly figures as to who's up, who's down, where are the in-demand jobs. Nursing, we know nursing, we have a shortage, and we're really working hard to fill those spots. So the state gives us all the data back. We have case notes. So everything is really micromanaged. I've got 3 layers. I've got the federal, I've got the state, and I have the local bureaucracy that I deal with. It's all good, but at the same time, the data is really what makes the difference. I've engaged a new growth group to do some consulting for me for 6 months. And it's basically them driving down on the data as far as how we rate with all the other counties, how quickly do we move on it, where our pay is for my employees, where the pay is for the people that are coming through the programs. I want to see real data, and you can't drive anything without data anymore.
You've already mentioned the importance of collaboration. How do you collaborate with other organizations, and who are the main community collaborators you work with?
I'll tell you what, I'll just pick up the phone and call. I'm not bashful. We do have a business coordinator here that works diligently at trying to grow these relationships. I show up everywhere, right? So whether it's a chamber event, whether it's just a government event, whether it's church, whether it's the Knights of Columbus, whether it's anywhere, any event that I can show up and network with somebody. If you own a business, I'm going to knock on your door. Right now, the biggest partners are Lorain County Community College, the Joint Vocational School, Ohio Business College, and we've worked with Hondros quite a bit. EHOVI does a lot of our medical. So I tell you, it's about getting outside of those core people right now and seeing if we can build more relationships.
The workforce landscape is changing rapidly in terms of technology use. How do these trends change how you meet the needs in the community, and how is the agency adapting for these changes?
We take the lead from a lot of the educators, right? So the JVS have a presentation this month with Elyria Catholic wouldn't have been somebody that we would generally look towards to see if they needed any help. But since we have a education choice going on in Lorain County and the cities of Elyria and Lorain, there's a whole nother demographic that's going to these Catholic schools. Elyria Catholic is the only Catholic school in the county. So on the 21st, I'm going to give a presentation on manufacturing and the trades to the senior class at EC. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to talking to the freshmen because we need to get them on that road before they're seniors. If you want to be a nurse, there's no reason that we can't start you at Elyria Catholic, Elyria High, Lorain High, Midview, and send you through Lorain County Community College.
You mentioned the Northeast Ohio Workforce Regional Strategic Plan. Can you talk more about that and what its impact on Lorain County will be?
It's basically the same. We're all in the same boat. You go over to Geauga County, their demand for labor isn't as high. They have a lot more white collar jobs. In a nutshell, we are all doing the same thing. We are all Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. Now, we all have different demographics. We build cars here. We build steel here. We've tried to transition. So everybody's in that kind of, what are we going to do next? And technology seems to be what is driving. The technology, we want to get a hold of somebody that will give us high paying jobs in a clean environment. We don't want to spew anything out. I know there's a lot of water that takes to cool down these data centers, but it's my understanding that it's saved and we're not constantly pulling out of the lake. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to. Technology, clean jobs, clean environment, and happy families.
Well, let's switch over and talk a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you became the director of the Workforce Development Agency.
Sure. So I grew up in Elyria. I went to St. Jude's in Elyria Catholic and then traveled down to Columbus and attended Ohio State. Graduated, and I worked for Ford Motor Company in quality control for a while. And then I had taken a buyout and I went to work for Murray Ridge about 8 years after that, Murray Ridge Production Center. So it was the vocational arm of the Board of Disabilities. And it was really one of the most satisfying jobs you could have. So they knew who was bringing the work in and how that was going to equate to money for them. So we worked in all kinds of fields. We worked for Parker Hannafin. We worked for so many companies here in Lorain County, and I really enjoyed it. At the end of the day, I felt so satisfied. And things were changing. Things are changing in the DD world, and they are no longer allowing any workshops. So they want everybody mainstreamed, and I understand that, but I don't think always the people at the higher level understand what's going on the floor.
True.
I told my boss there was an opportunity for me. He said, you better take that job, Dave, because you may be out of job in 2026. I was approached by the commissioners and they hired me as the solid waste director. So I went into solid waste thinking, all right, we're in the garbage business, right? So I thought this should be fun. And it was very rewarding as well because we really made a difference. Though when I didn't realize that they were underwater and overspending by $1 million a year, but we righted that ship. We got it straight. We wrote a new plan. It was accepted by the state, or accepted by all of our partners in Lorain County. And it was the first time that there was 100% ratification in Lorain County and the second time in the state of Ohio. So I was very proud of that. And so the commissioners took notice and said, that guy straightened that place out in 3 years. And really, they were very proud of it. So they approached me and said, we want you to go over to Workforce and reinvent it. Well, I'm over here 7 months into it and we're getting it done. But we had budget cuts this year because it comes down from the feds. So we have to deal with that. And I really wasn't hoping to deal with that in this manner. But at this point, everybody that was employed when I started is still here that wanted a job. I don't want anybody to lose their job. I just want them to do a better job. And if it's through technology, I'm willing to spend the money to make sure that we can deliver these services as best we can.
Talk more about the budget cuts. What got cut and how have you dealt
Well,
with it?
basically, the money flows from the feds, it comes to the state, and it's given to the county, and we deliver the services. So essentially, we took a 10% cut. We have the youth program, we have the adult program, we have different veterans. The youth program, because of the lack of communication, we still have money in that. The adult program, that money gets spent right away. People, they know what they want after you're 24, 25 years old. That money got cut by 10%, and there was a 12% deficit. So I got 22% cut. I've got a plan to write it, but if we continue to get more and more cuts, I'm not sure how we'll deal with that. At the basic, we can still provide resumes, training, mock interviews. It's when I get to the point where I can't pay for any more nurses or I can't pay for any more welders. That becomes a problem because those are the in-demand jobs that the businesses are telling me they need. I will go down and speak to Columbus. I think I'm on their agenda for November. And that's more about the youth side and how I think we can reevaluate and start communicating better. And not just for Lorain County, but for the whole state, and maybe the nation. If it takes a little bit more texting, we can do that. If it takes a little bit more insight into how people are dropping out of school or when they graduate, if we can still maintain a relationship with them via email. Right now, the school systems will drop dblevins@illyriacatholic.com. I would like to see them reassign another email so that we have some communications because it's only going to benefit the community and this individual.
In your career, both here at the Workforce Development Agency and your prior work, what are you most proud of accomplishing?
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of what we did at solid waste. We took something that was already great and we balanced out the budget, which it wasn't easy. I had to fight. I had to fight with the sheriff, with the health department, with everybody. The county engineer everybody was getting some money. Sorry, we had to cut those. I was writing the plan. If you don't have a balanced budget, the state won't even accept your plan. That's the first thing they look at. So writing that and leaving it in hands, Thomas Patrick is now the director. He was my right-hand man. I couldn't have done it without him. But I'm really looking forward to redesigning the way we deliver services here at Workforce Development. So I'm really thinking that with everybody on board and sharing, whether it's LCC or JVS, everybody sharing information, I think that we'll come out way ahead as a community.
That may have answered my next question, which is what would you still like to accomplish in your career?
There it is. I just want to make it a smooth transition. So whether your barrier is one that's physical or whether it's one that was from your home life, if you didn't graduate from high school, that's a barrier. So come out here. We can work with you and get you an adult diploma, right? So we can work with the JVS. We can work with the college. I'd like to see quick responses. So I just received something this morning that there was a local manufacturer was going to be laying off. It sounded like it was a retooling. It was only going to be 3 weeks. Let's hope it's only 3 weeks, but we will move in and help out anybody who is looking to move on or to upgrade their training so that they have a better chance of getting a good job.
How would you describe your leadership style? Who or what has influenced your leadership approach the most?
I'm really laid back, right? I don't want to fight with anybody. You can be a partner and get a lot more done than being an enemy. So my dad was a lot like that. He was a banker here in Lorain County for 50 years and laid back until it's time to fight. I'll fight for my side. If I think that you're not doing me right, I'll tell you. I'm very straightforward. So far, so good, right?
Outside of work, what are your hobbies and interests and how do they help recharge you?
Sometimes you just need to get away, right? So I'm into all kinds of outside influences like the Knights of Columbus. I'm currently the Grand Knight. So I've been a member of the Knights of Columbus in Elyria for 41 years. It's something that my grandfather was a 4th degree and my uncles were. So I enjoy that. I've been past president of the Sandusky Maritime Museum and enjoyed that role. We had doubled the size of the museum while I was there. I was past Commodore of the Bay Village Boat Club. So I enjoy boats. I enjoy nautical antiques and maritime history. So I get really into that and I will travel all over. Last weekend, I drove 19 hours up to Michigan and back to pick up a boat that was free. And I got home. I'm really happy with it. My wife was like, I don't think you need another boat, but that's okay. It's supposed to keep me out of the bars.
Is there anything we didn't ask that you'd want to talk about?
You know what? We've got a lot going on this month. So it's Manufacturing Month. We are hosting a manufacturing showcase here at my facility. We should have 60 employers here. Some will be doing interviews on the spot. There's also another event coming up sponsored by us and Cuyahoga County at the Great Northern Mall. And I'm expecting to have 1,000 people and probably 150 employers there. So it's unusual you go across the border to Cuyahoga County. But once again, I'm trying to build partnerships with Cuyahoga County. A lot of their jobs, whether they want to or not, may show up in Lorain County because we're a cheaper place to run business. A little less bureaucracy. Also, we're having a career Pathway Expo out at the fairgrounds. We're expecting 3,000 middle school students. So that's a great way to expose these young people to different careers. And it's going to be hands-on. So I think the Bricklayers Union is going to have a setup where you can come in and actually butter a brick and lay it out. So that's really hands-on. Those are the kind of things that we want these kids to experience. So at the end of the month, we've got plenty of things going on, but manufacturing month, the manufacturing is very important to the region, to Lorain, Elyria, Lorain County. And I want everybody to be able to take a job and get a job and be happy.
Finally, where can people get more information about the Lorain County Workforce Development Agency and connect with you?
All right. They can look at ohiomeansjobs.com or look at loraincounty.com/gov and just look us up.
Thanks, Dave, for joining us and sharing your insight.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you for listening to the LorainCounty.com Insights Podcast. Each episode, we share conversations with the people shaping life in Lorain County, from business and government to education, nonprofits, healthcare, and entertainment. Be sure to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. You can also visit LorainCounty.com to discover local events, volunteer opportunities, and more community resources. If you know someone who's making a difference in Lorain County, send us a note at podcast@LorainCounty.com. We would love to share their story and insights. Special thanks to our producer, Leah Gerke, and to you for listening. This has been the LorainCounty.com Insights Podcast. Conversations with the people shaping Lorain County.